It's a sad fact that child sexual exploitation has risen to alarming levels, at least in part because of the internet. Besides the disturbing presence of registered sex offenders in many communities, child prostitution is flourishing in America's cities and suburbs. That includes the city of Atlanta, where a shameful secret industry is exposed in Atlanta Magazine. The article was written by freelance journalist Mickey Goodman. And Mickey Goodman joins me right now to talk a little bit more about this. And it had to have been really alarming to find that this is a prevalent problem, isn't it?
Oh, Frederica, it was just horrifying to discover this, and I discovered it totally by accident over dinner with friends. And Stephanie Davis, who works in the mayor's office, is focusing on this problem, and when she started talking about it, we just could not believe that this was happening here in Atlanta.
Well, why is it, and not just Atlanta, but in many major cities across the country, and particularly in a lot of suburbs as well, why is it that it's happening almost seemingly under the noses of so many, you know, and how is it that so many of these young kids are getting roped into it?
There are a lot of answers, almost as many as there are children. Two big problems we have here in Atlanta. One is that, it's not a problem, I mean, it's also an asset to Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport has easy access and exit anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. And predators can go on the internet, find a site, find a pimp who will bring them into Atlanta, meet them at the airport in a limousine, take them to a hotel or an apartment or even an office building where more than one girl or boy, young boy, is housed, and then the men are home in time for dinner with their families. Mm-hmm. And it's a much cheaper destination than flying to Bangkok, which
wow.
was the prior capital of the world.
Are there specific reasons as to why some kids are victimized more than others, why they fall for, you know, these what seemingly are enticing invitations?
One reason they fall for it, I think, is that pimps don't look like pimps anymore. They don't drive up in the fancy limousines with the gold jewelry. They're the cool kid with the fancy clothes and the coolest jeans. And teenage girls are particularly vulnerable, I think, to good-looking young men. Mm-hmm. And they are easily taken in, thinking that this person is in love with them. Mm. And it may be a teenage girl from the suburbs who's had a terrible fight with her mother over a $200 pair of blue jeans that mom won't buy, and just thinks that the world is a terrible place and she can find happiness elsewhere. And the pimp says, "You want jeans? I got jeans for you." And they lure them in very slowly.
And then your article reveals that once some of these young people are rescued, you know, from this world of child prostitution, etc., they're dealing with a whole host of issues, from depression to venereal diseases, etc., and they need safe places to go. What did you learn?
I visited Angela's house, which is the only house in the Southeast for girls who have been sexually abused. The crime about it is it's a fabulous facility. The sad part is that there are only 6 beds. And that's just a minuscule drop in the bucket, and that's for the Southeast. That's not just Atlanta. And the children who are not treated for the venereal diseases, for the traumas that they develop Stockholm syndrome, where they identify with their predators. They have post-traumatic stress syndrome, like soldiers returning from mm-hmm, war. Mm-hmm. They have a host of school problems because they haven't been in school for a year, so they're very behind.
So there need to be more facilities, safe havens like this. Are cities, jurisdictions noticing that this really is a problem and it's happening right in their own backyards, and so there is a great push perhaps to get more places like an Angela's house?
I certainly hope they are looking into more places like Angela's house, but a lot of people have gotten involved. The Juvenile Justice Fund has been at the forefront of this issue. Judges like Judge Sanford Jones here in Atlanta is very, very involved in the issue. There's a lot of push to get more places. The schools are getting involved. There are organizations that go into the schools to talk to the girls, to talk to the parents, to talk to educators.
You found a lot of advocates who are willing to talk for your article. How about
Absolutely.
The kids themselves? How difficult is it to get them to open up and talk about these horrifying experiences?
It's very hard, and I guess because I'm a grandmother of 7, I looked like a trusting person. And when I went to Angela's house, they had initially told me that I could not, that the girls would not talk to me. But when I was introduced to them, they were asked, who would like to talk to Mrs. Goodman? And 3 hands went up, just me. And I was just blown over. And I just fell in love with the girls. They're wonderful girls.
Yeah, and I'm sure in part that was rather therapeutic for a lot of those young people.
I hope so.
Mickey Goodman, thank you so much. And your article is very sobering, at the same time very revealing, and one that everyone should get their hands on. Atlanta Magazine features it.
Thank you so much for having me and focusing attention on this problem, because it's a big one.
It is indeed. All right, thanks so much, Mickey.
Thank you.